I'm Ralph Dunkin. We have a miniature donkey farm in Plainfield, Indiana, and have been showing for some 22 years and raising and breeding, and have been very excited about that. Really, Gerry was my wife sitting to my side here, is the one who got us into this many years ago, and she can probably talk about that a little more than I can of how we really got into it at that time.
Several years ago, about 22 years ago, we attended the Indiana State Fair, as we have for many years, and I saw a miniature donkey up there and fell in love with them, and came home and started searching for one to buy, and we bought two originally, and that's how we got our start. And then the next year we showed at the Indiana State Fair. Back then there was probably only maybe 25, 30 donkeys shown at the state fair, and many times they didn't clip or do much cleaning of them, and that wasn't our nature, in that we've been in the show cattle and show pigs, and we started clipping and dressing them up and doing things that nobody else had done much into the state fair showing. I was raised on a dairy farm. As a small child, when I was about 2, my mother and dad took the family, and we used to take picnics and go out to the infield and eat our picnic lunch and spend the day at the fair. And I just have a great love for the fair, and was in 4-H as a kid. And my dad, we showed all the girl projects back then, but my love was cattle, and I begged my dad to buy me a steer, which it took me about 3 years to get that accomplished, because girls didn't show steers then. And so I talked him into my last 4 years in 4-H of doing cattle.
My start at the Indiana State Fair was a little unique in the fact that this lady, my wife of 42 years, our first date in 1964, I asked her what she would like to do. She said that she would like to go to the Indiana State Fair, which I had never attended. I was raised in the inner city, participated in athletics and so on and so forth, had never been around animals or farm life. So not only was it an experience of going to the Indiana State Fair, but seeing things that I'd never seen, and at that time we were seniors in college, so it was a new experience. So mine was a little unique start as far as the Indiana State Fair.
As I said, we started with 2, and the first one was kind of a lucky break that we got. He was a champion 4 or 5 times at the Indiana State Fair, and so it was just kind of a lucky break that we ended up with him on our first try. And from there on, we just started trying to buy and improve our herd over the course of years, and I've kind of spread toward black and quality, and pretty have well weeded out anything that's kind of weak around here, other than I still have that first donkey. When we first started, people said, well, you don't have quality, you can get a good jack, and you don't have to have such fine jennies. But I've found over the course of the years, you're only going to get what you've got in the jack and what you've got in the jenny to get quality babies. And that's what I strive for, is quality. And in any, whether it's a jack or a jenny, you're looking for straight legs, a good bite, a pretty head, big ears. I don't think you can ever get a donkey with too big of ears. You get a donkey with short ears and they look out of proportion. You want a pretty head. You want a nice straight back line. You want some muscling in the jack donkeys. You want a nice round rump on them, and a good front ends that's not too broad but not too pinched. You want nice straight legs in the back, and you don't want them under them, and you just want a nice flowing line on them. Well, he had said that he wanted to learn to drive. Well, we first got the single cart and started driving, and he really didn't, I don't think he drove at all. And it was I that taught him to drive and ended up doing it in competition. Well, then he decided he wanted to do a two-hitch. Well, that didn't happen either. We got the two-hitch, but it wasn't he that drove, it was I. And then he decided that we needed to drive for bigger things and go for the six-hitch. So that's how we got into the six-hitch. And that's been quite a challenge, but a fun challenge at that.
She was right on. I thought I would like the driving and so on, but really I like the behind the scenes kinds of things, of getting the clean up of the wagons and the carts and that kind of thing ready, and I'm not much for the show ring aspect of it.
And I will say that there isn't a show that we don't go that the wagon isn't polished before we leave home here, and the donkeys aren't polished. And I like to mess with the animals, and he likes to mess with the behind the scenes, which works as a good combination between the two of us.
And over the years, it's always interesting. Everyone's always, you know, anytime it's competition, anytime you're trying to attain another level or whatever, or present a better picture to the public, whether it be a parade or the Indiana State Fair or whatever fair you're in, you're always trying to attain a better level and do something a little different. And you will see something that you do maybe for the first time, the tipping the ears. Early on, we probably pioneered that, I would guess, or was one of the pioneers of that. But then the camaraderie with many of the people that we show with when they come up with something, it still is shared, even with the competitors that you compete against. And many friendships have been born over the years that we've been involved. So it's been a lot of fun from that standpoint, as well as being able to help other people, as well as people has helped us on some things. You know, it's good to give knowledge to other people, even though they're your competitors, because that improves the industry, certainly.
We've always been a firm believer in, if they ask, we'll tell, and we'll just come up with something new. The other thing that we've always done to promote the industry is that we always decorate every year our stall, and each year we tried to add something new that we didn't do the year before, as far as decoration or adding a scene or something. That helps present the animals, and just something that we've always done for a number of years.
I think that it is our obligation as an exhibitor, wherever we're at, whether it be the Indiana State Fair, whether it be the Kentucky Derby Parade, or whatever you're involved in, is to present to the public the best image that you can project for your industry, because not only does it help promote the sale of your animals, it's helping promote other people, because one breeder cannot promote or cannot produce the amount of animals that's needed throughout the United States. So you're really promoting the industry. And I think over the years, that's the one thing that has been so great about our fair, is the fact that the quality of the animals, the quality of the presentation, and also the fact that the visitors coming in along those same lines, the people are conveying and treating them and telling them about the animals, because that's why people visit the fair. There's many people that was just like I was many, many years ago that have never been to the fair, and they really don't know what these animals are. So it's our obligation to help promote the industry, and I think our industry is doing a better job of that than at one time.
Now we have approximately 350 donkeys shown at the state fair, and we have one of the best shows across the country. And if you do well at our Indiana State Fair, you could do well in any fair.